Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mediak. And this week we are covering Joker for the second time because, actually, fun fact, neither of them covered it. I covered it with Jack, and I think actually Chris might have been on the podcast because we actually had a third member before we switched to this new system with these two guys up here, Skylar to the right and Chandler to the left. And I'm, the guy that's been here the entire time, Zach. I'm
The
old.
OG.
Yeah, I guess the OG. I purposefully did not go back and listen to it because it was 4 years ago. I think it was either the second or the third podcast we ever did, just in general. And I didn't want to taint my opinion that I have because I know that it's changed from back then. And I don't want to listen to anything that I ever said because if I'm a hypocrite now, I want it to be real, Like, I don't want to
Mhm.
change my opinions because I'm like, oh, I said this so intensely back then. I need to keep that idea now. So I
Fair.
purposely did not go back and listen to it just because, you know, opinions and shit. Ugh. All right, who wants to talk about the movie first? Actually, do you guys want to talk about your week? It's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen Chandler. Chandler, how have
It
you
has been a
been?
while since we've seen. I've been chilling. I've been chilling. Went on a trip to Michigan. Was that after our last pod
Yeah, it
or?
was. It was. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So I went on a trip to Michigan. Partied a little too much there. Didn't get much sleep, and I'm
That
still
sounds
recovering.
good.
So
2 weeks later, still recovering. That's always good.
I just feel like my sleep's still messed up, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool. I went up to MSU, so I was just glad I got to go there. It was kind of like one of those ones where I was gonna regret it in the future if I
Mhm.
didn't go. So I just had to
Yeah.
go.
I get that.
Yeah, yeah. But other than that, just been busy with work, like schoolwork.
Dude,
Had
no
like
kidding.
five or six exams last week. Um, yeah, brutal,
Well, not school
brutal.
work for me, but work. But you know how it is. Work
Hmm.
sucks. Skylar, has schoolwork been hard for you?
Yes. These last 2 weeks have been absolutely terrible because I'm at midterms and finals with
Okay,
my
that sucks.
classes. So yeah, it's all at once. And
Hmm.
master
Yes,
classes decide to end on Fridays. So I don't have the weekend to work on stuff. So I have to finish everything in the next 3 days.
That's always good.
yeah.
We love
And
that
it's like
for
the
you.
end of the 8 weeks, so
Right,
I'm sure a
yeah,
lot
and
of
you have to
guys'
do.
classes are ending.
You have a lot of
Mhm.
8-week classes?
Two.
Oh, okay. So
Mm.
those two are ending, and also you have midterms. That sounds like a
Yeah.
blast. So now
Mhm.
that we're all sufficiently depressed, do we want to get into and talking about
Yeah.
this movie about this depressed man?
What a great
Just
segment.
yeah, thank you. That was I noticed that the segue had a possibility there, and I was like, wow, this is going to be great. To segue from Skylar's sadness into Mr. Arthur Fleck, the Joker man's Arthur the Joker Fleck. His little story here. Skylar, do you want to give us a recap of what the Joker is?
Yeah. I'm going to do it in as few words and as vague as possible to
Good.
see
Yes. Good.
if anybody would be able to guess that this is the Joker.
Okay. If you take this out of context.
Happy man who should be in medical home is clown. Gets sign stolen, proceeds to go on a rampage and kill everybody around him because of the anger and sadness inside of him. Because a government official is not his father.
Because of the sign.
Soon to
Correct.
be government official.
Soon to be
He's not
Soon to be
government
yet.
official.
government
Correct.
official.
Yeah,
True. So not
he's
yet.
going and doing it. So this isn't a comic book movie. This is a movie in which they have taken the names of certain comic book characters and slapped it onto it, and I think that's quite funny. And it is
Mhm.
essentially just like a remake of a movie that probably neither of you guys have seen. Taxi Driver. Anything?
Nope.
Yeah, I figured not. It's basically like this, almost the exact same movie. Not that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it hits very similar story beats. Um, One thing, and ooh, I guess I could do a fun game this time because we've done it. I think with both of you. Actually, no, I might have attempted to do it before, but I'm gonna try to do it again. You guys can try and guess my opinions of the movie, but I am gonna say one thing straight up off the bat. I did go into this watch of it trying to not like it and trying to pick it apart as much as humanly possible because of how bad the reviews were for the new one. Because my brain was like, oh, if this new one's bad, then maybe it was a fluke, and all of the things that we thought were good about Joker weren't actually good, and there were some sort of like errors or something like that. And then I also really wanted to look down on myself from the past by I over the last couple of years I've expanded my film knowledge and my library of films I've watched. So I just wanted to look at it and be like, man, I've seen much deeper movies, and that is I do actually feel like that now currently. But I don't know.
I do have one question to
I have
immediately
one answer,
follow that.
maybe. Okay.
You should have the answer. Are you
Okay.
keeping the Joker, like knowing this movie leads into the next movie in mind, or are you kind of thinking that this one is an independent at the moment?
I'm choosing to believe. I think it's
Because I
impossible
think that
to. I
that
think it's
very
impossible to ignore the fact that there is a sequel, but it also was not made with the intention of there being a sequel. So some parts of the movie that I really enjoy, I enjoy on the aspect of it being by itself, and I think are a little bit ruined by there being a sequel. I tried to say that in a way that didn't give my opinions super intensely, but that's an answer to
okay.
that
So
question.
there is some slight influence from the next movie.
There is slight influence from the next movie. Okay, that's the
Okay,
TLDR
that's
of
kind of
that.
what I needed because I
Okay,
feel like if you count it completely as independent, it's drastically different than you
it's a
if you
very
say there's
different
influence.
movie. I think my
Yeah,
answer changes probably by an entire point if there is no
it might
sequel.
be like a point and a half. Honestly, that's
Maybe I don't know. I
yeah.
would have to think about that more because it's mainly the end of the movie that I think is affected by it. Uh,
Yeah.
Chandler, say your opinions of the movie next. Sorry.
So wait, I thought we were playing a game. Are we supposed to
Not
guess?
yet.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah, just
Wait.
We're
you
going through
get.
all of our opinions, keeping his
Hmm.
known. Then when we do our numbers, we're guessing his number.
Okay. At first I wasn't a huge fan of it, and I really
At first, as
wasn't.
in the first time you've watched it, or whenever you're
I've
watching it
never
this
seen
time.
it. This
You've
was my
never
first
seen
time
it. This is
watching
your
it.
first
Mhm.
time. Okay. Huh.
Yes. So I knew I needed to watch it. I knew I needed to get around to it. I knew it was good. With that being said,
You knew you've
I
heard it was good.
yes,
Yeah.
I heard it was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
From outside opinions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I thought it was all right. I thought it was. I think as a movie, it's very strong and very good. But I thought it was just a little too boring for me in the
Okay.
beginning. Um, I also like. I understand a lot of it's supposed to be deep, and
No,
I
keep
don't know.
going. Keep going. Sorry.
Every
Keep
single
going.
time the violin played in the background, you know what I'm talking about, like that score
Yeah.
with the
No.
violin. Did not like that.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
I appreciate a different
Okay.
noise aside from that violin. It just kind of there was multiple times I cringed in this movie, and it just made it hard for me to watch. Like especially whenever he was doing that stand up comedy. Oh gosh, I wanted to peel my skin off. I
Yeah.
couldn't.
That was kind of
I
the point in
couldn't.
that scene
And
specifically.
his laugh sometimes. Oh, so like
That, you know, that's a real
some
thing.
moments.
Actually, whenever he was studying to be in the role, he studied people who really had the condition that like forced you to laugh or something
So
like
that is a
that.
thing.
Yeah, and he
I thought that was so fascinating. I thought that
yeah.
was cool. I
I think it's
really like that
interesting
touch.
that he has a million of those laminated things. Like, don't laminate them, man. If you're handing
Yeah,
them out,
it
what
was
the heck's
creased.
up
It
with
was
you?
creased too. The
Yeah,
detail on that. I thought they went above and beyond with a lot of their detail, especially like
that's
just
fair.
Gotham
Yeah.
City. There was like graffiti
Cheap as
everywhere you
hell
went.
movie. Cheap
So
as hell movie too, which is crazy that they put that much. It's a $55 million,
wow,
which I mean I guess is not dirt cheap, but for the fact that it made $1 billion, it was
1
literally
billion
yeah
dollars.
$1 billion. The first rated R movie in history to make $1 billion actually, which is pretty crazy.
Were you guys watching it on Max?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
So every single time I clicked on it, it would show rated R, but it would say smoking. Is it because
Cigarettes.
I know there's actual gore. Like we literally saw blood.
Yeah. It might just be saying maybe Max just considers smoking worse than murder.
Dude,
Well,
I don't
murder
know.
could be PG-13 because of horror
Well,
movies, right? Some horror movies are
murder's
PG-13
allowed,
like
but I
murder.
don't think like point
You
blank
literally saw a
bullet to the
guy's
face.
brains
Yeah,
get
like
blown out, and you saw the
and also
aftermath.
I honestly think the scene where he was stabbing his friend in the
Oh
neck,
gosh,
like
yeah.
that was worse gore wise because you saw more
Mhm,
of it. Yeah.
mhm.
Uh,
That
a
was pretty crazy
quick
too.
question actually. What all do you think in this movie was real?
All of it.
What do you mean by that?
Because at the end of the movie shows that the rest, like the final scene where he was talking to the
Oh,
therapist, shows that the entire movie was him telling his therapist how he became the Joker. So
that's what that was?
yeah, well, sorry, that I
Oh, I
guess
did not catch that.
that was me jumping to conclusions. Every clock in the movie showed the exact same time, and they made sure to show a clock at the end of the movie to show that it was just him just telling a one continuous story. Then something that
Oh,
something that I wrote down that honestly I'm not really sure what, because I noticed it the first time I watched it. I talked about it even on the podcast. I know I talked about it on the podcast because I remember Jack's opinion of it. Uh, there's the moment where he shoots the guys on the train, and he shoots 7 shots out of a 5 or 6 shot magnum, and Jack was adamant that it was just a production error. It was some sort of issue that they just didn't catch. But I was like, oh, what if he didn't actually kill those 3 boys, and he is just exaggerating the story to this therapist. And he's like, and I shot one of them in the face, and I shot another one, and then I shot his leg as he was walking away, and then I shot the other guy in the head, and then I shot him twice, and he just wasn't counting how many times he said it to the therapist. But we're seeing the exact thing that he's describing to this therapist, so we're seeing the 7 shots. But after hearing that the new one's terrible, I don't know if it's a production error or if it's some sort of Joker mind messing up of the movie, and it's really I think it's literally impossible to tell now, which is interesting. I guess I don't know.
that's I don't know how I feel about that because I did not catch the clocks.
No,
I did not catch
I didn't
that.
catch the clocks any of the times I watched it. I watched a YouTube video that pointed it out to me.
Mm.
I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm smarter than you guys. And
Right.
That's not true.
No, but I would need
Not
some
even
time
close.
to think.
Yeah.
But the argument is like, this was more so a retelling. A lot of it could have been
Right.
exaggerated.
Well, we know a
if
lot
not
of it
made
was
up.
fake because of the Zazie Beetz bits. We saw in the movie them show us that a lot of the movie itself was not happening. So it's not out of the question that other things in the movie couldn't happen.
Wait, like
Didn't
what?
happen.
What do they show not happening?
Do you
So-
remember whenever he sat with the girl in the hospital? Then upon the rewatch, it's only him in the hospital.
Oh,
when he,
shit.
Yeah, and he
walking
like
to
went
the
into
home.
her house and she didn't even know who
Okay.
he was.
Okay. That makes sense now. I was gonna say whenever they started like kissing out of nowhere, so you're saying that wasn't real.
Yeah, that wasn't
That
real.
didn't happen.
Yeah, that didn't
Okay,
happen.
because I wrote that down. Like, where the fuck did this come from? he just
Yeah.
said you should come to my comedy act, and then
Yeah.
they started just making out of nowhere.
Yeah, I heavily
Okay.
doubt she even was at the comedy act. If not, they
Well, I
might-
thought I saw her. I thought I saw her in the crowd.
Well, yeah, but they.
Oh, you're
that
saying
could
that
have
maybe
been,
she
yeah, that
wasn't
could have
there.
been fake, yeah, or something.
Well,
like
it was.
that.
Well, yeah.
What was the if you could pick one scene in the movie that made you be like, what the heck was this? Like, why was this in the film? What would it be? Actually, I'm gonna ask specifically Skylar that because it seems that he had a
Right,
I'm gonna. This is that's good. Yeah.
What's yours? 'Cause I need
Me?
time to think.
I do have a
Yeah.
very definitive because one of my complaints with the movie is that I did get a little bit bored, but I did think that it peaked at the beginning of the movie and slowly got more interesting as the movie went going on. But
I have one.
The part that made me be like the most by far been like this should have been out of the movie 100% was the fridge scene where he takes apart the fridge and then gets into it. Like, what did that do? Like, what was that?
Yeah, I know. Bro just needed to chill.
Yeah,
he just needed to chill.
Maybe that was just like a one-off thing he was telling to his therapist, and then he was like, and then I got cold. I mean, then I got really hot, so I went in the fridge or something like that. But like, I don't know. We didn't need to see that. Chandler, you said you had one?
I thought it was really weird how he was giving his mom a shower
Oh,
or a bath.
Okay, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I
think that
was
how sick she was and how much he needed to take care of
That's
her.
what I took it as too. But I mean, I was.
Yeah, I
it's
do understand
awkward.
that now. Like, I didn't realize how sick she was at that point in the film.
Fair.
So when I wrote it down, I was
Understandably
like, bro is chill with his
Bro,
mom like that.
WTF is this? Skylar Higgins.
I don't know.
Thoughts?
Skylar loves every moment of this movie. He saw the fridge scene and said, I wish I was in that with him.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. My first watch, I was like, "That's not a bad idea."
Getting in that shit right now,
Like,
bro.
these summers
It's
up here-
kind of hot.
These summers up here are hot. Like, yeah, I need that
Yeah,
fridge
dude.
time.
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm trying to think of one that neither of you have said yet, but
I mean, you could just agree with one of us that works too.
yeah,
That is fair.
I know, but I wanted to try and find like my own. But
Right. Valid.
it might just be the fridge. But like that's low key a good idea. Like
No, but like, why? Why was he doing that?
Like-
It doesn't matter if it's a good idea. Yeah, it could be hot in the
Because
summer, but
he's-
it wasn't summer. It was
Um,
October.
yeah, like that one felt a little like out of place. I don't know. It might have been like a little like just to show how insane he was. He needed like confined space or something, but like it was never mentioned before. So I feel like that one could be removed and the movie be exactly the same. Um,
If you don't have anything to say, I do have a minor rant to give.
go for it.
Minor rant. So not just a
minor
complaint. Okay, keep going.
I'm gonna just say this.
Pop
I
off
don't
then.
actually mean it, but I'm gonna say it. Fuck the lady on the bus. He was just trying to smile at the kid and have a good time, and she
Yeah,
was like, "What are you
that's
doing?"
fair.
Like, she started his villain arc. I'm gonna blame
Fuck
her.
society, dude.
Mhm.
Fuck
Yeah.
society. Society made
He was
the
just-
Joker.
Especially that lady, though.
I get you. So, do you want to hear a quote from Todd Phillips?
Sure.
Yeah.
So he was the director and writer, and he said, he said this is what his quote of the Joker was. This is the Joker in his universe, and one of the reasons why I know that this is just a movie that has the names of comic book characters, not actually a comic book movie, because this is not what I'm about to describe is not actually the Joker. So it is a guy who is searching for identity, who mistakenly becomes a symbol. His goal genuinely is to make people laugh and bring joy to the world. And I'm like,
He
okay.
did by accident.
Yeah, he made people happy. He also created
Some.
Batman. Yeah.
I think that was
Yeah,
cool.
he technically created the best superhero Gotham's ever seen.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. People like Robin nowadays. Chandler, you like that scene?
Which scene? The one where
Where Bruce and Martha. I mean, not Bruce. Crap. Thomas. And Martha got capped.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought earlier in the film Joker was gonna do it. I thought he was gonna kill Bruce and be the cause of Batman. But
You mean Thomas? Killed
sorry,
Thomas.
yes, Thomas, not Bruce. Sorry,
How
Thomas.
dare you get that wrong, man? That's so disappointing.
I do it all the
didn't know
time.
if he was
I literally
independent.
just did it. Like,
Yeah.
30
You know what's
seconds
worse
ago.
is I probably wrote down Bruce and not Thomas too.
That's
so
funny.
I goofed up more than once.
Yeah.
But I vibe with it. I think it's cool, like how in this universe Joker is responsible. Because in my
That
opinion,
happens in
I
other
think
things, too.
Joker is the big bad of Batman. Like he's
Yeah, of course.
his arch nemesis,
Yeah.
and it's just at first it was stunning to me when I learned that he wasn't at fault for his parents' death. I was like, oh, you know what? I would really have expected it,
Depends.
but now in this universe we actually get to see it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Um.
So what if?
To go off of that, I guess I would like to. Sorry, I took a pause there because I was deciding whether or not I wanted to say this. One of my favorite moments or parts about this movie is that final scene where he is like talking. He's like, "Oh, it's just a joke," and she's like, "Oh, can you tell it to me?" And he's like, "You wouldn't get it." That was one of my favorite moments until they announced a sequel and what exactly was happening because of how interpretive it was. Like I really liked how they didn't ever answer that or show wildly like what that joke was, because
The joke is the sequel.
the joke's the sequel. That is the correct statement. But to me, whenever
like, "You
I
wouldn't get it."
watch the movie, I like the idea that it was him thinking back. Well, he was telling that story of how he was created, and in that moment where he was coming together and realizing how crazy that night was, and he remembers and he thinks back and he's like, oh, that's the night that Thomas and Martha died. That's the night that I created Batman, and that's the joke. And the joke is so funny because he's in Arkham and he got continuously put in Arkham, and the joke was that he was the one that kept doing that to himself because he was the creator of the guy who keeps putting him in prison, and that's what's funny. But now that's ruined because that theory is no longer there because it's now a sequel. Yeah, it's a different joke, and I'm not upset that I got it wrong. Like, that's cool and all. I just wish that it was allowed to have different interpretations. I don't know if that makes
This
sense.
joke is just a lot funnier, in
This
my
it's
opinion.
pretty
The
funny,
sequel's
dude.
really bad.
I
Apparently.
do you guys know what it's apparently they spend like 2 hours of the movie just talking, like ripping apart this character of the Joker, cuz I think Todd Phillips noticed how much people related to this version of the Joker, and he just wanted to make
Yeah.
fun of him. And apparently that's what the movie is just making fun of people who are
Aw.
similar to that guy. And it's just
And
like
like
him
the
in
Joker?
court and them being like, so it seems like you have mental issues and actually get beat up all the time and have never been able to keep a job. Seems like you're just a straight up loser who accidentally killed someone or something like that. Yeah. So I'm excited
But
for
it's also a
that.
musical. So.
Yeah. I also heard that they don't really go that deep into the musical territory, so I'm expecting like 3 songs in 2 hours. I don't know. I heard it's a train wreck. I'm pretty excited for it. I think it's gonna be a blast.
I think it's gonna be one of those that's so bad that like I want to watch it like more than
Yeah.
once.
No, I don't
It's
think
gonna
I'll
be one
ever
of
want
those
to watch
ones
it
that
more than once.
sour my box of popcorn.
No, dude, I don't think it's possible to sour the
No.
box of popcorn. I
It'll
think
probably salt your popcorn.
I think what will happen is I'll be like, man, that was not good, but I had a fun night out. that's what
But
my goal.
I had a box of popcorn to eat, so it was a plus.
Yeah, my goal is to go out to the theater and be like, man, this movie's gonna be bad, and then sit there and just like nudge someone and be like, oh fuck, that was shit, and then keep going with
So
my
it
life.
actually has not been mentioned yet. What did you guys think of the music throughout the movie?
Chandler mentioned it. He didn't like it. I liked it. I think the
I
score
didn't
is
like the
really
violin
good.
part.
I think the score is really good. I think the metaphor of him dancing and how like that is comfortable to him makes sense. Like I don't know, like if you're weird, not weird. If you're something's up with you, you have some sort of tick or something, and his is dancing. It was weird for my brain to get adjusted to that whenever I watched it for the first time because I was really expecting Joker, and I got like some dancing guy. But upon a rewatch, I really enjoyed how that was how he portrayed himself. Like whenever he was at first doing it, trapped in his room, and he couldn't do anything, and then whenever he finally like awakened himself and he went into the bathroom and he had that moment where he was really coming into who he was. I really enjoyed that all the way up until the end with the police car, and he was doing it in front of his entire gang, and I was like, wow, this is just great. I really enjoyed that scene.
What about behind like the stage curtain? Did you see the
Oh
stage
yeah,
curtain?
where he was
He was,
doing
like,
it
doing this
slow. Yeah, I really
Yeah, that
liked
was
that
my
one
first
because it was the
thought.
silhouette of him. That was
But
good.
the stage crew were just staring at him. He was
Yeah,
like,
and people were like, "What the fuck is this guy up to?" I remember thinking about
that
that
was so funny.
because I thought to myself, man, that's good acting from these random ass people. Because imagine how difficult it would be to pretend to like just get your attention caught by someone being weird. Like I feel like that's such an underrated thing to do in a movie. I don't know. Sorry, that's a little rant that I went on there. The end of this movie. is
Even
great.
better of an idea. There was a. I'm gonna go off of just like a random stray production error. Imagine they were told that he was supposed to do something else, and they're like, "Wait, this guy's not doing the right thing."
What is
They
what
were
is this guy
constantly
doing?
checking- yeah. Definitely not what happened. But funny to think of.
Yeah, I agreed.
So I thought the music was fantastic the
Yeah.
entire way through. It was one of my favorite parts because it felt like it always like lived up to the moment
Yeah,
for me. So that kind of just made the moments like a little bit better.
it made everything a
And
little bit more tense. It felt real.
my next question is, do you think this is an innocent person who just fell from grace, or do you think he was always destined to become the Joker?
I don't know.
Like, do you think he was a
Unfortunately, I
good
think
person?
destined. I think because it was just because of his mom having mental issues.
It's like whenever
It's probably like,
yeah.
She's adopted.
Well, I know
But-
that.
Oh,
he's
shit.
I,
Well,
no, I know that
right,
he's
but I-
adopted, but it's like one of those murder
Nurture.
stories, like the cold cases or the JCS criminal psychology videos where you're just like, man, this person never stood a chance because they had mental issues. They grew up in a terrible household. They got beat. They never were nurtured. They never had anything that would even push them slightly down the right direction. They never stood a chance. So I'd say he
Mhm.
probably was destined to be.
His,
he was.
I mean, he was pretty intent about his mom and being put on the planet to help people laugh and smile.
No,
And that was, like, his
totally.
entire thing.
But he just didn't have any way to put him into that
He-
direction, or or any way to do that. It doesn't matter what your intentions are, but if you don't have anything to stand on, then you just can't do it.
Yeah, he didn't have the greatest living conditions either, so
Yeah,
especially like the abuse, that didn't help.
yeah. It's a miracle that he even came out of what he had with good intentions.
That is very true.
Yeah.
And then what's another one? Do you have a favorite quote in this movie throughout all of it? Because I think he has a lot of iconic quotes, but
My
there's like
favorite
one
quote
that
is
stands.
from all of the very, very vibey shots of him smoking a cigarette.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't remember quotes that well.
I don't think I wrote anything down that I thought like the one that made me it kind of made me giggle, cringe, not like fully cringe, like where I get goosebumps and I have to do a move, but I just went. It sucks. It's the one where he was like, "All I have are bad thoughts." I was like, ah, dude, that's such a. I can see a redditor typing that and thinking it's crazy.
I maybe pick something from that late night show. I thought he had some pretty cool monologues there.
Yeah, that was
I
the
thought
best one.
those were deep too. Like he was definitely at his A game there, where he felt most comfortable.
Yeah, he was
Because
the
you could even
Joker,
tell, even
man.
when he was rehearsing, it's like it just wasn't right. It was
Yeah.
still off. Like he was like contemplating, stressing.
Well, he
But
was
yeah,
awkward. He was like, this feels weird, even doing it here, until he put the makeup on and everything, and then he became who
oh
he
yeah,
was.
yeah.
He couldn't
I,
even be himself alone until he was behind the mask. Ha ha ha! Dream reference. Sorry.
how many murders did he do in total?
He did
Like
3,
two.
3, 1, 5. He did 5.
Well,
Wait,
how many of those do you
about
think are real?
6.
At
How many
least
do I think are
Oh
real?
well, yeah.
Definitely 2. I definitely think 2 are real. Without a
Well,
doubt,
those
2 are real because one's on
The late night
video and
shows?
one has a witness.
did you count his mom?
No, I didn't count his mom. 5.
6. No, 6.
Yeah.
You
Sorry,
said 5
6. Yeah,
already.
Do you
you
think
know,
he
you're
killed his
totally
mom, or do you
right.
think his mom just died?
I
And
think his
He
mom just
suffocated
died.
her, bro.
No, I think his mom just died. It's a hospital. Someone would have noticed.
What? No, well,
Someone would have
I mean,
noticed that he killed her. They definitely.
And the vitals
so
were going
you don't
crazy.
actually think that was real?
No, I don't think that was real.
I
I
don't
think she
know.
I
was
think
dead
that was the
before.
story. Oh fuck! No. The funny thing is, we're gonna find out next week. We're gonna find out when we're sitting in the courtroom with the Joker, and we're gonna hear what was real and what wasn't. God damn it! God damn it! This movie sucks.
No, this is great.
God. Oh, Jesus, dude. Why did this get a sequel? It was because of all you stupid fucking fans that were like, we need a sequel. We need to see more of this. What happens to him? It's because of you. It's because of you. You ruined this good movie.
No, the
It wasn't meant
directors
to
ruined the
continue.
movie.
It wasn't. What'd you say, Sky?
The directors and the people in charge of the next movie ruined the next movie.
No, it was because Todd Phillips got pissed and he was like, I'm going to make something making fun of all the people who asked for this.
No, it's his fault. His fault.
Honestly, like if I was in his position, that's really funny and that's a super hard play. Imagine purposefully making a dog shit ass movie just because the first one was banger.
How much is the budget of the next film?
220 million or something like that. They blew up the budget.
I heard it did not do good.
It did not.
in
No,
box.
it has not made that back. But you
Well,
know what? The money was already spent on Todd Phillips,
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Lady Gaga. So who cares?
I guess they can use the proceeds from this $1 billion
What we can do is pretend that the next one doesn't exist, or if it's bad enough, we can keep the idea that it does, but just pretend it's in a different universe or something.
Or it's so bad that it has to be to this one. And
Yeah,
it makes
we're
this
like-
movie funnier.
Dude, imagine if it is like way worse than Morbius in like every possible way, and that would make it a better sequel than if it is the best follow up ever, because it would be so funny that they're in the same universe. Sorry, that was not a good way to end that sentence in a funny way. It just was true.
I really want this Joker 2 to end. So maybe we are the Joker. That's
Or-
like what I want the final line to be.
No, she walks up to him and it is like, you really are the Joker, and then he goes, no, we are the full AA do.
That's good. Write that down.
Yeah, dude,
Um,
Todd
Write that
Phillips,
down, write
dude.
that down.
Todd Phillips, you should listen to this shit, dude. I'm cooking.
Emma, do you have any quarrels left out?
I wrote down a quote whenever I finished this movie.
Well, I
I would
wanted you
like
to go last because I was gonna go straight into your number.
Okay, that's
I think
fair.
I have just one thing to say, and that's just it didn't strike me until that subway scene where he got into it and there was tons of people with clown masks on.
Mhm.
I don't know why I didn't see that coming, but it just reminded me of like that's actual like comic book lore. I feel like I know I've played a video game like a Lego Batman, or at least I've seen stuff where like there is an armada of just a Joker gang. You know, like I
I
know that's a
wanted to
thing.
say
I
that
thought that was
before we
cool.
got into numbers and shit like that, because I honestly think that you could say a million bad things about this movie. You could say a million good things about this movie, but the best part about the Joker and this kind of concept, regardless of it being in comics or not, is the following that it can build. And the way that this movie portrays that is immaculate. It just
Hmm.
after one movement, and then everyone starting to slowly like wear these masks, and he's seeing them as they're going around is amazing. And towards the end, where he has this entire army of people, it's just really great. And that has always
Mhm.
been the Joker's like biggest threat. And I thought that was the most shocking and impressive thing that this movie did, was showcase how he got that
Mhm.
and made it such a big deal. Because I honestly don't think they always showed the Joker having a gang in the other movies, but they don't like make it a big deal. It's not like a
Right, right,
thing.
yeah. Like, how did he get these loyal
Yeah, yeah.
followers? But
And
here they
like,
actually
yeah,
show
he's
that they
scary
believe in his
or whatever,
cause
but he's
almost.
just a guy. You got to show that he's not just a guy, he's an idea. They're not following him because they like Arthur Fleck. They're following him because he's the embodiment of this idea of a better future that they're going for, or what their idea of what a better future would be, or something. It's just such a really
Mhm.
great idea in a really fantastic finale. And I really did enjoy the blood smearing into the
Yeah, that was
smiles
cool.
bit. I remember seeing that in theaters and being like, "Holy fuck!" and like screaming my head off. It's a great ending. It really is a fantastic end to this movie. And that was
Mhm.
one thing I wanted to really get off my chest, that I loved the end of this movie, all the way from the stairs to the credits. Fantastic.
Although, I guess if I had to argue, I don't know if I like the idea of not knowing what is and what is not real. I feel like just it's done so poorly in other films, and now that was brought to my attention,
Take a sour taste.
But
yeah, it's just a slight sour
but
taste.
To be
it's
fair, you
actually
didn't
done
know.
good in this movie.
Right.
Yeah,
Like if
it's actually done pretty well.
so here's the thing, Chandler. Your interpretation of the movie is that we're just watching what happens, and that's fine, and that's great. But my interpretation of the movie was that he was telling a story and he was lying a bit. See, that's the great part about what this movie was. What was? It's not that anymore because there's a sequel.
Yeah.
So
But we've
I'll
talked
share
about that
my
many times.
interpretation too.
Yeah, go
Just
ahead.
because so Zach's like parts are over exaggerated and Chan's like this is what happened. I think it is also for the most part this is what happened. Um I feel like he had that journal and he wrote down like bits and pieces and then was just like telling the story. But so I think a lot of this movie is real, but I do think there are some parts where he like was speaking about what happened, like the bullets. I like to believe that he just didn't count. He just like was I shot him here, I shot him here, I shot two here, I shot one there, I shot
Okay,
over
okay.
like
I
one
know
over
what you mean
there.
now. Yeah.
So like I think that's like real. But I also think like the parts where we see that like the person wasn't there, maybe it was him like remembering that she wasn't actually there. And he's like, "Oh, I thought she was there, but then like reading this now, she wasn't there." So he was like telling us she was there, and she's like, "Oh wait, she actually wasn't here there. She wasn't here there. She wasn't here there." And like I was in her apartment. I don't know how that got there, but like I don't know.
You know what,
I guess
Skylar?
I'm
You're right.
perfectly
I'm
agree with
giving him
you.
too much credit. I'm thinking he's too smart. You're right. He
Yeah,
didn't lie.
yeah. He didn't mean to
He's
lie.
clearly not a
He's clearly
genius.
reading.
He's clearly not a genius, and he definitely is not planning ahead and trying to become a bigger idea, like a bigger symbol. Actually, no, he is. Fuck, I don't fucking
Maybe
know.
he's kinda living in the
You
moment.
know, it doesn't
He
matter.
said he didn't.
It doesn't. Skylar, give your number. Sorry, that was
Chandler?
really
I was
a
I was just
lot.
gonna say, like, what about this? We
Okay, go.
haven't dug deep enough. What if two things? He's
Okay.
just like that, and he reloaded his gun off camera, and we just never knew.
You're
Or
right.
Why do I
two,
love you?
it's because of the reverse flash. He reloaded the gun for him.
Dude, I didn't even think
Oh.
about that.
My
You're
camera's not
so right. No, I know it is,
focused.
but it's okay. Dude,
Chandler came
you're
up with the best
so
theory.
right. Because everything is because of him. He did everything. He came in. He started the Joker. He jerked off Barry back in the 6th grade or whatever. What was that meme? Back in high school or
Something like that.
Yeah, he was out with a woman, and they were on a couch, and upon a woman's touch,
Yeah. It was me, Barry. I did it.
I did it to embarrass you. Yeah, that's a great theory.
Yeah, Chandler
Better yet,
fucking
it's
nailed
not
it.
him lying either. The Reverse Flash wrote the wrong story in his notebook. He changed some details.
I like the Notebook, by the way.
Or while he was telling the story to the therapist, every time he said something that was somewhat factually incorrect, the Reverse Flash went back in time and made it happen. And then came back and continued listening to the story and just kept doing that until the time was like exactly as the Joker was saying.
Yeah, exactly. So he was exaggerating, but he also wasn't because the Reverse Flash was fixing everything.
All right, that's lock and key. I'm expecting the judge of the next movie to say those exact words. When he
This
looks
is
at the sheet and he
because
goes,
of the Reverse
"Mr.
Flash.
Arthur Fleck, it seems like you were being charged with the Reverse Flash going back in time and putting 7 bullets in your Magnum."
No, just reloading it very
Yeah,
quickly for
just
you. To keep doing.
reloading it crazy fast. You actually had
Um,
20 more shots. You could have kept pulling the trigger, and you could have just come going, and throwing them in. Whatever.
Was it for this movie? I still really like this movie, so I still have it as a 9. I completely disassociate it from the second one. Does not exist in my mind.
Right, yeah.
And I like this movie and like a ton of things about it. I like the different theories, the different intricacies about it, and the different ways to interpret different pieces. It just always feels it's always a good vibe. Kind of.
I was
That
gonna
sounds
say,
terrible to
good
say,
vibe,
but maybe
interesting is a
that's a
statement.
terrible vibe to.
Yeah. It's
It's a
it's
fun
in-
vibe.
It's an
It's a good vibe.
it's a
intriguing
good
vibe.
concept of a movie, definitely. Chandler, go
Mhm.
ahead.
Solid 7.
Okay.
Solid 7.
That's
It was lower, but the movie's actually it's a good film.
yeah.
Like it point blank is just it kind of almost hits all those check marks. So it's higher at 7, but I don't know if I'll see myself watching it anytime soon.
It's one of those 7s that you're like, you know what, that's not that bad, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, what do you
Um,
guys think? Chandler, give me a number that you think I feel. I think I did a pretty good job of putting both negatives and positives out there.
Yeah. I think you're gonna give it an 8.5.
So I think your original opinion of the movie was an 8.5.
I think my
So-
original opinion was a 9 or a 9.5, but I could be wrong because I haven't rewatched the podcast.
Yeah, but that was whenever you were over exaggerating everything or under exaggerating everything. Everything was the best or the worst.
No, I just
And
hadn't.
this is
I'll
more
explain it.
educated Zach.
Yeah, more.
Could it have
educated.
gone
I think
higher
he's
than that?
currently gonna give the movie.
I feel like
I think he's currently at
it's only gone
8.5, so I
lower.
think he's gonna be at a 7. I think he's gonna be close to 8.
Oh.
He thinks I dropped it to Chandler's level. So I will admit something. I did start the podcast I started at the best time because it showed my growth. I hadn't watched a whole shit ton of movies whenever I first started the podcast, and one thing I thought back then was like, oh my god, this movie's so deep. This is like crazy. It allows me to think and stuff whenever I'm watching the movie. I could come up with a bunch of theories and whatever. And the first thing I wrote down whenever I finished this one was, of course, a pond seems deep if you've never been to the ocean. And I've watched so many more movies since then, and there's a lot of really great films out there that allow you to think and stuff like that, but it doesn't take away from the fact that this movie is a really great transition for people who are into comic book movies but are scared to watch something like The Lighthouse. It's not exactly an easy transition to do something like that, so this movie is a great thing to exist to help those people go into more artsy like films, especially if you actually enjoy that kind of shit and you left the Joker like, oh, I like theorizing. This movie's a 7.5. I really enjoyed it. Skylar was very close. Chandler was about a point off. I was really impressed at how close. I thought you guys were all going to think it was really high, not going to lie. But yeah, 7.5. It's a very good movie. I do think that definitely 2 points are taken off because of the fact that the sequel exists.
I knew it. I knew it.
It probably the movie wouldn't be a 9.5. It would probably still would be an 8 or something if the sequel didn't exist. The point system is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's just kind of vibe based. You know how it is?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't really think I have much news this week.
I would like to point out that I read your mind. I said you were going to
You
be at
did.
an 8 to an 8.5, and I lowered it to a 7.
You
I
did
should have
really
I should
good.
have said 7.5.
I'm upset because I originally was thinking 8, but I was like, no, he's gonna say 8.5.
It's a good movie, but man, like they're just. Oh my god! I almost just deleted
You've
a
just
meme.
seen better ones since.
Yeah,
That's just what it is.
do you want to see the meme I
It's-
almost deleted and would have been really disappointed in myself if I did?
It's just gonna be backwards. Oh, you can see my forehead on there.
No, it's
Oh, you can.
My forehead, bro. Oh, I
I
can't.
am born.
it says born
I
to
am
dilly
born
dally,
to
forced to
dilly-dally.
lock in, and then under it said born to arf arf, forced to woof.
Yeah, that's kind of how I beat the last like week and a half.
Yeah, so
Looking
true,
forward to
so
the next
true.
3 days.
I actually just I'm not even gonna say that. We're
By
just
the
gonna
time this
move on.
podcast released, I will have been born to dilly dally for the last 2 weeks, but I was forced to lock in.
Did you guys see Chandler? Did you see the new announcement for season 3 of Invincible? February 6th is the start of
Oh
the new
yes.
season, and in the announcement they specifically said no mid-season break. They wanted everyone
Yes,
to know
I saw
about that. Yes, very important. And I'm not even saying this sarcastically. It's legitimately very important that they didn't do that because I hated
Yeah.
it. Everyone did.
Yeah.
It
I
was
never even
stupid.
finished watching it till like well after it released.
Yeah, that was the reason why I didn't even watch it until like it was. I didn't even start the second season at all until like 2 months after it finished because I just was like, oh, I'm not gonna watch the first part at all until the second part's out, and then the second part came out, and I was like, I don't know, I just have been waiting so long since Invincible came out. I feel no rush already because I've trained my brain to be like, I want to wait. I should have been getting more news. I've been really lacking in the news department because of how much I've been doing work stuff and then going into Mediak video making. I just don't have any time to look for news. The next bit I have is Warner apparently wants Robert Pattinson as the official DCEU Batman. So that doesn't really mean anything because Warner, as in the top dogs at Warner, not James Gunn and Peter Safran. So like, just because they're saying that they want that doesn't mean that's actually what's going to happen. I honestly think it would be for the better if Robert Bat stays in his own little thing. And I like the Skylar smile. He's like, yeah, I agree with that. That's a good take.
Rob
Zach.
Bat and Bet.
Yeah.
No, it was much simpler than that. You just said Rob Bat and Bet.
Oh,
and
I
I
love.
was thinking about watching the Batman again.
Oh,
because
dude,
of
that
this
movie's so good, dude. I'd beat up a child to watch that movie again easily. It's fantastic. It's one of the best ever superhero films. That's all of my news. Does anyone else have fun news or something?
No, I probably know
Sparking
nothing
Zero's
right
out.
now.
Oh, Sparking Zero's out. It's the best game ever made.
Call of Duty's
Hands
almost
down.
out, so
Call of Duty's
that is
almost
yet.
out, and hopefully it's not bad.
I feel like it's zombies can't be. Like it sounds so good right. It better be, bro. I swear.
Dude, Liberty Balls looks pretty interesting. They did it. You know, the good thing about the fact that last month's reveal existed was that they had to come out on a podcast recently and say that they were changing Liberty Balls to be Liberty Falls instead of, balls. Cause like people made fun of it. They were like, oh, it doesn't look like a zombies map. There's no vibe to it. It's just a multiplayer map. And then a billion other things. And they're like, okay, we're going to change that stuff. But I don't know. It's kind of false marketing in some sort of way. I also don't like how there's
Gravity Falls.
What?
Liberty Falls is too similar to Gravity Falls.
I would fuck up a
And
Gravity
Liberty
Falls
Moon, yeah.
zombies map. That would be so sick. But no,
That'd be
this
so
one's
cool.
in Virginia or something.
Virginia.
Terminus looks pretty sick. I'm really excited for that. That map looks pretty sick.
Yeah, I know nothing about that stuff. Just like the the new zombie
news,
updates or
Pokemon lore.
differences.
We're not going to talk about that. I would rather have this podcast stay on YouTube. And also, I would rather not know about the leaks because I want to watch the trailers when they come out. Personally.
Yeah.
So what?
I will say that they are a thing. The leaks are a thing.
The leaks
and if you're
exist.
interested,
The Pokemon
look-
leaks do exist. Yeah. A lot of incest. Not incest. What's the name for it? What's the name for the thing that they did?
Fuck. Like celibacy? No.
What?
Fuck. No. What is it?
Animals, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of that.
Zoophilia?
Reality.
No, it's not that. It's not that.
Bestiality. He
Bestiality,
nailed
thank you.
it. Yeah.
Sorry. What did I say? Cecilia?
I have no fucking clue.
I was
bro.
going for
Sicilian is a-
bestiality there.
Sicilian is a type of pizza, bro.
No, that's not
Maybe
what I
some
said. I don't. I
Celibacy.
said like I was
Celibacy.
trying to say
That's not having sex.
bestiality, but
That's the opposite. It's not having sex.
I
I was gonna
know.
say, I had no idea where you were going with this.
Yeah.
I did not have the best hints until
Damn.
Zach.
So
gave me the
Sky
definition
knew,
of what
and we were struggling.
We were
Oh,
just
man, I had
sitting
no
here
idea what
like
you were
we're
talking about
idiots.
there.
Skylar, do you want
I was
to
like, what is
ask the
going on?
big question? The big transition question?
Yeah.
You
Chandler,
know it.
What have you
God.
been watching?
Dude, the
What
amount of
have I been
times I've
watching?
set someone up for a transition and they just don't get it because I haven't given them enough information is fucking crazy. I'm so happy that worked that time.
Speaking of having enough information, Chandler has a lot to talk about. So
He
let's
does, yeah,
tune
because
in.
it's been 2 weeks.
I didn't at first, but I do. In fact, when I went to Michigan, I watched so much stuff. Evidently, I watched The League. Is anyone familiar with The League?
No.
I wasn't. It's been out since
If you're
like
talking about. Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you're talking about the
2006,
NFL,
maybe.
that's
I don't know. It is pertaining to the NFL. It's about fantasy, like a
Interesting.
fantasy league, and it's my first year joining a fantasy league. So,
I thought that was a little funny.
yeah, I'm starting to understand a lot of the funny things about the show, but it's just really good. It's Disney. It's a Disney show, or at least it's on Disney Plus, and like it says things that Disney would never condone. I'm just so
Nowadays,
perplexed at
at
how it's
least.
on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays. Yeah, for sure. Then I can see it. I don't even know if it was by Disney. Maybe Disney just bought it. But regardless, it's just about fantasy football and a group of friends just kind of like, losing, winning to each other every week. And it's just so funny. It's really funny. I need to watch more of it. Toy Story 2, probably watched half of that before I fell asleep.
Interesting.
Cars,
Oh,
fell asleep to that, sadly. I love Cars. It's one of my favorite Pixar films, I'd have to say.
can't believe you fell asleep through Toy Story. That should be
Toy Story
2 is
2.
like, that's a peak movie.
It is, but like it was like 3 a.m. So
Oh, well, that would do it, yeah.
yeah, and I was the last one to fall asleep. I couldn't find the remote, so I just kind of unplugged the TV.
You couldn't just fall asleep with it on?
No, bro, it was so loud. Like his TV had a on and off switch, and I didn't know about it until the day after. There's
that's
no
rough.
volume. He doesn't have a remote. Regardless, finished from season 2,
Nice, yeah.
but I have yet to go on to season 3 because again, it just like actually the way it ended was super irritating. I did not like how that ended. I did not whatsoever. So I have no intentions of finishing it until season 3 fully releases. Yeah,
Interesting.
I don't know.
hate when that
It just
happens.
kinda made
That's
me
always
upset.
disappointing.
Exactly, but still, it's like the first season didn't end in a way that I would have liked. There really was no resolution, or like it wasn't really even a cliffhanger because it was just
Yeah.
like, all right,
Something that happened.
yeah, it was almost like, yeah, stay tuned for next episode, but you gotta wait a year for it now. Like, it was just weird.
Imagine if they did a movie like that.
I have a strong
That is
belief
movies,
that
bro. That is
no, I have a
movies.
strong belief that you should never do that. That's what Spider-Verse, Into the
Oh,
Spider-Verse
yeah.
did, or
That's what I was
Across the
talking about.
Spider-Verse. It was ass. Should never do that.
That's what I
Every
was
movie
talking
should be able to stand on its own to some degree.
You're right. That is actually a good example. I forgot about that film.
Yeah.
I still think it's a good film.
I
know
don't
what you
think
have
it's
to say
bad.
about
I'm
that.
not saying it's bad. I'm
We're
just
dependent
saying
on
that
the
it's
third
not.
movie,
It's not a perfect movie, which is the first one. The first one's a perfect movie. In every aspect, it's a perfect movie, and it's not. And I'm tired of pretending like it is, even though I've never have.
Okay, that way to quote the Joker.
Thank you. I thought that would be
Great
a really
callback.
funny thing to do. You know,
Yeah.
haha, like the Joker. I'm trying to be funny, haha. Call me Mr. Joker, Arthur Fleck. Arthur
Hardy
the
har har.
Joker Fleck, haha.
When you say Fleck, I think of Affleck, and then I think of Batman.
The Arthur the Joker Fleck Joker. Arthur the Joker Fleck Joker Fleck.
I'm getting lost. I'm so confused.
Do you have more
Guy, help.
things?
Guy, help me out. I have
I
two
was
more
forcing
things.
Zach to stay with his silence of knowing what he just said.
Oh no.
I was still going with it. I would have added. I would have kept that continuously longer until I got bored and decided to throw it back to Chandler and see what else he watched this week.
Yeah, Chandler, keep going on here. You're watching.
Started
this.
watching Tower of God. I really like it. Why?
It's great. I love that show.
I'm on the last episode of the first season, so if there's
I've
anything
only
you
watched
wanted
the
to
first
say,
season. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic.
it is.
It's a fantastic.
There's like
show.
3 though, right?
There's 2. The second season just came out.
See, that's what I thought, but somehow it said 3 episodes when I looked at 3 seasons when I looked it up. So
That's
I
weird.
don't understand that.
I watched season 1 back freshman year of college.
So it's been that interesting. Is it like a Korean anime or something like that?
It's a
I was gonna say.
It's a webtoons comic. It's not a manga. But they just were having issues with animation, so it took a while.
The animation is interesting. It's
I
like
like
almost
it.
like a
It's different.
yeah, it's
in the
different
next
though.
season.
Very really? Like in they upscale it or something?
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I just know it's different.
Doesn't this definitely look more like a drawing than
love
like
that.
the glossy like
Yeah.
Attack on Titan vibe?
Yeah.
But yeah, loving it so far. I think it's really cool. I just love how innocent the main character is.
Yes, bomb. I
Yeah.
love him. I would fight.
He's so pure.
You know how many demon armies and Mongolians I said I would fight for Scout? Like,
Yeah.
multiply that by like 100,000, and that's how many I would fight for Bomb.
Damn.
How many instant?
I
families
feel
would
that
you
though.
fight?
Bomb is that guy.
Yeah. What'd you say, Skylar?
How many innocent families would you fight?
Probably none, hopefully.
You ever seen like the
Wow.
video of like the kid? There's like he has like a little choo-choo train, and it splits 2 ways. There's like one person, an old person on the track, and then like 5 kids on the other side. And he's like, "Which way are you gonna go?" And he moves them all to one side and takes them all out.
Yeah.
That's
That
exactly
kid-
what like that reminded me of.
He knows how to get his
Exactly.
multiplier up in COD. Come on, dude. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
He's going for a new record, bro.
Yeah, he's going for a nuke, dude.
new
He's
high
6
score.
people in. That's
I was gonna
crazy.
say, the one I've seen, he's like, I bet if I drift, I can hit a boat.
Chandler, was there anything else you watched this week?
Yes, one more thing. It's not what I've watched or what I've played. So there was Amazon Prime recently, and I picked up a couple games. One
Dude, the
called
Prime
Prince of
Day
Persia.
Wasn't. Oh, I did see that was half off. I
Mhm.
didn't. I wasn't really blown away. I got a book. It's actually, funnily enough, right here. I got this book. And that's kind of basically it. I got some pencils that have random colors as you draw with them. I just thought that would be fun. They were $3, so I was like, why not? But everything else on the Prime deal day just wasn't interesting to me for some reason.
I got this
Skylar
new
likes
light
those
setup.
pencils, bro. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm
I
so
had
excited to
one
draw.
Whenever I was little,
Really?
I could pick what color I was writing in, and it was my favorite thing ever.
Dude, it's a pencil,
it's still probably top 5
and
in my mind.
it changes as you sharpen it. So like as you keep drawing and going down, it's gonna
Mine
be
had
different colors.
a little. Mine
Yeah.
had a little like
Click. I know what you're
things at the
talking about,
top.
bro. I
Was that,
remember.
was that a pen?
I got that at the book
Oh,
fair, bro.
yeah.
That shit was
It was
crazy.
my writing pencil of choice.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
shit
but
was
there wasn't
crazy.
much ink in there, I don't
Colors on
think.
all my
No,
tests.
there isn't,
It was
Chan.
awesome.
Unless you get
There
one
was-
of those girthy guys that are like this big, and they have
Yeah.
like 7 of them, and they're all
The
like.
thing though is that like they all had like 6 pens in it, so like they all had to filter through one
Yeah,
hole.
yeah, exactly.
I know exactly what you're talking about there, Sky.
Yeah, there's like 6 slots, and you have to slot all 6 of them through the one hole.
Yeah, what were you doing as a kid there, Sky? Like, you know-
Chandler, did you say you have another thing?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
getting to the point.
Okay.
I bought a game called Cat Quest.
Oh
very
yeah,
niche
you've been
game.
playing that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
I-
keep seeing you. You're on the second one. Are you? Did you get through the first one?
Yes. I bought the third one. So I'd already played the first one,
Okay,
platted
okay.
it.
Okay.
It's like it's not a really fun game because I don't pay attention to the dialogue. I just
Right.
click X and then just mash square so I can just murk everyone.
Okay.
And then skip the dialogue and because it's not good dialogue at all. It's meant for like a 6 to 8 year old age range. But
I don't
it's
know what
like-
the consensus of this game. I do know this game series is reasonably popular. I hope that
But it is
Chandler is
just-
not offending anyone.
Oh, I apologize if I am. It's just it's just like
Not
want
actually offending. I was
dialogue
making a
to be
joke. I was being
like-
funny. No one actually
It's just
reads
like-
dialogue nowadays.
it's just
I
stuff
do.
for me to go like
Oh,
brain
never
dead
mind.
to, so I can just mash my way through the. I'm just playing the game to plat it. It's giving me something to do essentially, and I never finished Cat Quest 2, so almost done with that. Then I'll move on to Cat Quest 3.
That's huge. We love that for you,
Yeah.
brother. And that's it.
Man,
That's the end of
Yes, yes. Sorry
Okay.
for taking up like 20 minutes of your
the.
time
No,
there.
you're not taking up anything,
Yeah.
dude.
That was
No, you're fine, Chandler. You're beautiful, actually.
Zach,
Yes,
what have you been watching?
dude. Actually, I've been watching a lot. It's a decent amount, actually. Me and
Oh.
G finally finished Dairy Girls. Great
No
show.
way.
Really great ending. It just a good 3 seasons. I wanted it to be longer, but I don't know. There's only so much you can do with that story, and I'm happy that it ended well. That's basically all you can ask for. I finished Alan Wake, the book, today. I finished it today at
Oh
work.
yeah.
Yeah, I finished it today at work. I got to the end and I read the bit that was like, it's not a lake, it's an ocean. And I was like, I hope that interpretation isn't what I think it is, because if it is, it's a little bit lame. But the book itself is really good. I really enjoyed it. I liked how a lot of it could have been interpretation and a lot of it couldn't, like, is kind of really told to you. I like how the end is very upfront with how it is, but the parts that are questionable, they don't really dwell on it a lot, so they allow you. I'm trying to be very vague because it's a
Mhm.
really great book and
That's
great
fair. Yeah,
series.
because
Yeah.
I think I'm interested in it at some point, but
Yeah, I want to
you
also know what the difference is between what I got information wise in the book and what you'll get whenever you play the
the
game.
game.
Yeah, because
What about the second game?
I'm
this
so
book make you
excited
wanna
to play
that?
Yes,
Okay.
I want to play the fuck out of that game because I know there's certain things in the game that I know exist because I watched a review of it, and now that I know these characters in this world, I'm just like, I want to know how the fuck this happens and that happens. Like, I know that Agent Nightingale is back in some way, and I just want to know how the hell he survived the darkness. And I know the quote of the second game is, "It's not a circle, it's a spiral," and I want to know how somehow that connects into the "It's not a lake, it's an ocean." Because I honestly don't really like the "It's not a lake, it's an ocean," because my interpretation is that it's deeper than you think, which is kind of obvious. But like that's so obvious to me.
Plot
I
twist.
just I don't know.
Maybe there's so much more you haven't seen.
I think there's maybe that. There's a lot that I need to think about. And then there was another bit of it. I don't know how I should explain this because it might help Chandler with his experience because he might not understand it, or it will ruin some spoilers for him. But there's a there's little bit of an Ouroboros. There's a paradox in it that they just straight up address to you, and it's just like, well, did this exist first or did this exist first? And then the very next paragraph they just ignore it and keep going, and I really enjoyed that because it allowed me to think back on it, and I do think that there is a definitive conclusion that's not necessarily super obvious, but if you read the right words in the right order, I think it might be. I'm trying to. I really wish Chandler wasn't interested, so I could just go to town on this because it's really great. Wise. Damn it.
Do you
Chandler.
recommend the book or the game? The first
I can't
game?
answer that. I don't think.
You never played the game,
Yeah,
right?
I've never played the game. No, I've only read the book, and it's really good. So there's places of power that imbue objects of power, and in Alan Wake, Cauldron Lake is one of these places of power, and it imbued creative people with the ability to. This is a spoiler, Chandler, but I honestly think this might help you understand things in the earlier game a little bit more, especially just knowing who you are. And it gave creatives the ability to make their art real in some way. And in Alan Wake, there is 2 people who seem to create each other, and it's like one writes one into existence to help him, while the other one also writes the other one in existence to help him, and it seems like this endless loop, but they don't really know who started the writing process first.
That is interesting.
Yeah, and it's really cool. I enjoy that, and I do think there is a
Yeah.
definitive answer, and it's not what you would think it is because of the characters. And
That's almost like the chicken and the egg, right?
it
'Cause
it
you just
is,
don't know
but I
which
honestly
came
think
first.
okay, fuck. I want to say it, Chandler, because I'm really excited about it because I just finished
All
the book.
right.
I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on.
I'll
I'm gonna move on.
yeah.
I'm gonna move on. Sparking Zero came out. I have about 20 hours in that already. It's a fantastic game. I've been playing some zombies, playing some Dokkan. Sadly, playing a lot of Fortnite. I'm at level 140, doing the grind. Not happy about it. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Skylar, what have you been watching the last 2 weeks?
Oh, so
The Joker,
for
baby.
those who have been paying, I did watch The Joker. For
Oh,
those
me
who have been
too.
along my One Piece journey, I am on chapter 898. So I'm about to break 900. And
Are you done with Whole Cake
so
yet?
that's exciting. No.
Where are you at?
Don't know how I can say
He
without
just starts
spoiling.
mogging on us. Where are you at?
They
He's
are. How do I say it without a spoiler?
Just say it. Well,
One
actually, no.
person.
You are at the part in which you can't. I'm sorry.
There is one person who is super hungry right now, and um hasn't gotten the sweet treat.
Oh yeah, and that character
the
Um,
yells it
emperor.
like 40
The emperor,
times.
right?
somebody,
The
somebody,
character yells it
maybe.
a million times. In
Um,
Luffy is
yeah.
where?
So
Have you met Katakuri?
um, huh?
You could say
Kat-
honestly any name and it would go over
Katakuri?
my head.
Have you is are they doing a thing?
No, they're skedaddling right now. Two of them are
Okay.
away from very angry family.
Okay. Okay. We'll leave it at
Yeah,
that for
and
now.
another family just coincidentally is in the fight.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So that is where I'm at.
Okay.
Um,
I think Whole Cake is
so
pretty underrated, personally.
I think I am nearing the end, as I don't know exactly how
You
much
are,
more
yeah.
could exactly have on. Um, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's probably in my top 3 right now. Like, I
Mm.
might just because of recency, but, I still like Marineford still might be my favorite.
That's just not even.
Eh
You're right. Like,
yeah,
you're right.
it's just good. It's just really
You're right.
good.
Objectively, you're correct.
Uh,
Not the anime though.
yeah,
Okay, the anime. Okay,
I've never
comparatively,
watched
even in the
I've never
anime, you
actually
gotta
watched
admit,
One Piece,
compared to
you know?
other arcs, it's still the best.
Um, I've still never
I don't
watched One
know.
Piece,
Mm,
I feel like
but,
they're all like
that's
some
a
kind of
shame.
equal.
Yeah.
You know what's at the bottom though?
Just
Thriller
Rosa.
do you
Bark.
say
Thriller
Oh,
Bark.
Thriller Bark. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, Skylar's gonna rip your head
Emma?
off, bro.
I knew what I was getting
Before we
myself
end this
into there.
podcast, I am spoiling everything for you until now.
Skylar,
You are gonna be as caught up as I am.
we all salute the audience. I click stop recording. Skylar instant transmissions into Chandler and just punches him in the face.
I thought you
Yeah.
were about to say something like, Tomorrow I'm not going to be on your team and I'm going to hit 10 foot on your ass." I really expected you to say that.
Chandler, that's a given. But I am spoiling the show for you now. You are toast. You made fun of my Scooby Doo arc, so I am going to kick your ass.
Yeah, how the fuck dare you? Oh,
No, it's too easy.
my mom just finished Fishman Island. Me
Mm.
and her just finished that.
Oh,
She
so
just
I'm
found.
like far ahead.
Yeah, you are. She just found out that Shirahoshi is the ancient weapon, and they just started the Joy Boy plot line in that stuff
Oh,
with everything. So my mom is halfway through One Piece right now, which is crazy. She'll
The
catch
anime,
up.
right?
Yeah, the anime is going on hold now actually because starting next week they're gonna start remaking the Fishman Island arc, and then after they finish that, they're gonna continue Egghead for 6 months, and then after 6 months they're gonna do Punk Hazard, and then after they do Punk Hazard, and it's not the One Piece; it's separate. The Toei
and
anime.
why?
I don't know why the Toei anime. Actually, I'm guessing it's for filler reasons because they're catching up to Egghead. So they're just like, oh, we need to find some way to fill in this gap, and we don't want to make the episodes bad. and we don't want to make filler arcs. So what we're just gonna do is reanimate some of our old arcs, but not the
Cool. I like that.
yeah, but they're not gonna do the super old ones because the One Piece exists, and like there's other versions of that. They're starting post time skip, so they're doing Return to Sabati up until the end of Fishman Island over the next 6 months, and then they're gonna continue Egghead from that point on, and then after a while they're gonna do Punk Hazard and reanimate those. And I guess that's just what the trend is gonna be until One Piece ends or they catch up.
I think my newest thing is, do I like Sabati more than Whole Cake?
I like
That's
Sabati more.
my.
I like
Sabati's-
It's
yeah.
it's
Sabati's
pretty
good.
close.
Sabati's I like Sabati a
Sabati's
lot.
really good.
Sabati's really good.
Is that the one where
Yeah,
they get
it-
split
the
up?
Yeah, and also it's the one where
Yeah.
he punches the celestial dragon in the face, and there's just a lot of really good stuff on that one. Because Luffy thought all of his friends were dying, and then it's just
yeah,
so
that was
good.
tough.
And then Ray Lee stopping Kizaru. Just so many good moments in that. It's just that arc is amazing. It was the first time they did something in One Piece that I wasn't expecting, and it just kind of kept going up from there.
I have also there's a new like I don't know if you want to call it documentary because it's like it's about like it's called Starting Five. It's about 5 players in the NBA at each position.
Oh.
So me and
For some
Kate are
reason, I thought
watching
you were
it.
gonna fucking say the Taylor Swift one.
No. And me and Kate are thoroughly enjoying that right now because both of our favorite players are in it and they're both in it a lot.
LeBron.
So LeBron and Tatum.
LeBron James.
LeBron.
And they do like a whole. I'm spoiling Starting Five. If you watch Starting Five, if you watch this podcast, you probably don't watch
Yeah, I was
Starting
gonna say
Five.
the
I
likelihood
don't
of
do I don't do basketball so much.
So they did, and so obviously everybody knows how Bronny went into cardiac arrest, but they do an entire episode covering it and showing like him off and kind of being like, "We're glad you're still here."
yeah.
And then they do that into a family like Christmas one, and those 2 episodes back to back were so good that I was trying to do my homework, but I physically couldn't stop watching this.
How
I was
many
so good.
how many episodes have hardcore sex in them? Do you think?
So if LeBron is on the screen, I think like 10.
Only 10? That's
But
kind of disappointing.
I've only seen
Wait,
through
how
episode.
many?
I'm on episode
How many
5.
How many scenes in the show are graphic porn?
I'm
intrigued now.
Chandler's sitting forward.
45%, excluding filler.
Excluding filler. Okay. What about with filler?
Um,
Do you think? Do you think the number goes up or down with
Like
filler?
95.
It goes up with filler. Okay, you got me interested now, Skylar.
And then me and Lily have watched a little bit more of My Hero season 7, so we're inching closer to wrapping that up. I have watched another 2 episodes of Hell's Paradise. I did not drop it. I was just too busy, and I was like, I need to prioritize One Piece right now. So I was locking in on that. I'm on episode 11, I think out of like 13.
For what
I'm
again?
looking at it is Hell's Paradise.
Oh, okay.
It came out around the same time as Jujutsu Kaisen season 1, and it's pretty good. I enjoy it. There's another. It's the main character has white hair, so pretty cool.
Another Gojo.
No comment.
I'm gonna make a declaration. I forgot to do this earlier. I'm making a video on the Alan Wake book. That's gonna come out 2 Mondays from the video that releases the day after this podcast comes out.
That's
Go
awesome.
ahead, Skylar. Yeah.
And then on top of that, I've been
forgot I wanted
playing
to
a
say that.
lot of Dokkan. I've been playing a lot of Sparking Zero, and a lot of FIFA. Has there been anything else?
Yeah, I've been seeing that, dude. You and Caden have on your the notification. It's like, oh, they've been playing a lot of FIFA, and I'm like, okay, that's stupid. Why isn't their most played game this week Sparking Zero? Like, what are they doing? What the hell?
So there's a game mode called Rush, which is like 4v4 on short court, and me and Kane play together, and we made Andre get the game so he could play with us.
But
You mean 2v2?
Have you ever played World Tournament with me, Andre, and Caden?
Yeah,
it's goated.
I have. I like the 1v1s better.
I think World Tournament's better. 1v1s you gotta wait. I don't like waiting.
I mean, yeah, but I'd rather wait for a good fight than wait for a CPU.
Yeah, but it's like
'Cause you still gotta wait if
12
you lose first
minutes.
round.
I know that, but you still play against people for the most part. Just don't lose against the
Like, if you
CPU. It's
don't
that
keep
easy.
winning, then you're not gonna keep playing. Like, it's the same
That's true.
problem.
Eh,
Um,
yeah.
I guess it's set up differently, but, uh, I was seeing the 1v1s 'cause I like the win streak.
Ah, right.
So I'll speak on that game a little bit more. I'm still trying to find my, like, exact main, like, who I think I'm gonna continue to learn everything with. I'm still doing a ton of randoms, trying out different people. And the ones I'm vibing with the most, I really like God Goku, specifically God Goku, because he has a move called Godbind. I mean, I think that move is so good. Oddly, Chaozu felt pretty overpowered for a 2
Chaozu is
DP.
crazy. I'm gonna
I
make a
like how he
video
does
on
not have
Sparking Zero.
I like how he does not have a flying or a running animation, so he just kind of like
No.
floats forward.
Yeah.
And Birder is really good for 3. He's so
Is
fast.
he? Huh.
Makes sense. He's the
I
fastest
mean, it
man
makes
in the
sense. He's the
universe.
fastest in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what he says.
But I think that is all. I mean, obviously, I'm watching YouTube. The
Well, yeah, but
occasional.
YouTube is a given.
Yeah.
Everyone watches YouTube
So
when they eat lunch.
that's what I've been doing. I've been playing some volleyball with Chandler. Obviously, it's a given. I play
Yeah.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Tis your life.
Oh, yeah, and me and Kane started adding more to our workouts, so I'm extra EP immediately after the gym. So
That's fair. I'm EP right now. You
Are
guys
the
want to
knees
end the
feeling good?
podcast? Knees?
no,
Yeah.
no, they are
My
kind
knees
of
aren't
They're
feeling
not.
good. I'm walking too much.
Mm,
yeah.
that's
Eric
fair.
said it.
I feel like Sky after our tournament, you just need to go on like this rehab with me.
Chandler,
This seems
do you
like
know what they're gonna tell me whenever I rehab? They're saying you should take some time off. Do you know what I'm not gonna do? Is I'm not gonna take time
Well,
off.
I mean
So
the
I'm just
December one,
ready.
because
I'm
that
gonna
will have like
pause you
all
guys
of winter
right there.
break.
This seems like post podcast conversations.
Fair.
I'm tired. I'm
Wow.
gonna end the
Okay, so
podcast
whenever
now.
Zach
I
was asking what we
see.
were doing and what we've been watching, he really didn't care. He
You're
was
not
looking at
even
his
watching
phone.
that. That doesn't
I
count.
do watch.
You're talking about.
I'm watching my knees right now.
Right. Okay. Is that media? We can Google that another day.
I consume media
This
on how
seems
to
like
watch my knees.
I books or media. I googled that. That's interesting information that I have. Does everyone want to salute now? Do you guys have your quarrels out for this week, other than volleyball and
Um,
knee related issues?
Actually, I do have one more.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
am very oddly excited for Joker 2. I think
I'm
it's gonna be
excited for
absolutely
it too.
terrible, and I'm in for such a
I think it's
blast.
gonna be fun. I think the
I'm ex-
worst that will come from it is that I think to myself maybe it wasn't worth the money, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
That's gonna be mine. I'm either gonna go and be like, "Wow, I can't believe I wasted $15 on this," or I'm gonna go, "Wow, I
That
wasted
was fucking funny,
$15 on
man.
this."
Like, yeah, those are the
speaking
two
of
options.
speaking of that, I'm thoroughly excited as well because I haven't had some popcorn in a minute.
Dude, I love the movie theater popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll see you guys next week with Joker 2 Folie Poo. I didn't steal that. I mean, I didn't make that joke. I stole it. All right. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.